learning through mistakes, positive attitude and perceptions about learning, and indeed the culture of learning from failure is very, very important. We have for the longest of time overlooked the essence of mentorship, which equally in a huge way is good. And you know, sometimes I remember my principal used to tell me a lot, you know what, listen to everything that anyone says, even if it's a madman in the streets. Pick what is going to help you, throw away the rest. And true to it, there are times that even that madman will tell you something that would transform your life. If you pick it, it saves you. You choose not to pick it, then it's up to you. You wouldn't even blame anyone that, oh, I was not told. And on that very note where we left it, Mike saying that, you know what, it's actually, negativity that was coming from the people he would have expected to receive positivity from. And, you know, this is happening. It's still there. It's not everyone that has the best of mom who would tell them, don't you worry. You know, sometimes you get the best of messages from people outside who you never expected. So this then means sometimes it's not about what people tell you. It's not about the people who are around you. I know that would come in handy, but then there has to be that initiative. Any drug addict, a person who is, of course, addicted to drugs and is trying to reform and all that will tell you this, that it has to be a personal initiative. Absolutely. Before it gets to that point where, okay, I accept that this is the remedy that you're bringing on board. That remedy can be brought on board, but if you're not willing, then it is pointless. So how then do we get ourselves to that point, Daktari, where you know that it's about you, that this is an initiative? You would have said, "Ay, mwaka ingine ku repeat, manze, that's quite a long," and that is what we always say. I know, like you, and then you don't even realize that there's a lot of years ahead of you that you'll waste time that you'd not even know what to do. Sometimes your mom tells you, "Acha kufanya hiyo kitu." I mean, you'll still have time to do that, but you don't see that. So that personal initiative, that personal understanding of a person that it's okay, this has happened, but as a person, how do I pick it up and fix myself?
I think first it starts with self-awareness, getting to know yourself. Especially, of course, when you're very young at that age, when I was 12, I didn't know these things about getting to know me. What do I want? Maybe you have not even seen anything better in your circles when you in the villages. But if you have an opportunity to see other people, then come with those, whatever you've seen, and ask yourself questions. Where do I want really to see myself? How do I why do I want to see myself there? And how do I get there? This process of getting to rediscover you helps a lot. Because if I don't know myself, the society will define me, will tell me what I cannot, will actually make me see myself as a failure, will define me. But if you get to the level where you're comfortable with yourself, you know what you want, then every day you're waking up to actually move on towards achieving or to getting where you want to see yourself, whether it's in the next day or wherever. So it is start from that. In business, people do SWOT analysis. Yes. So you analyze yourself. SWOT analysis for me means I get to understand purity in a deeper way. She makes mistakes, yes. She's a human being, yes. Sometimes she's rude to people, yes. But how can she change? What is this thing that makes her get agitated? What is this thing that makes her not to grow in her career? What is it that makes me see like someone in TVET is useless, and glorify someone who is in the university? Well, all these people are very important. So it is start with getting to know yourself. And then I love another writer in US who have talked about, she's one of the greatest scientists in rocket science. She has talked about aligning your mind. You know, the mind really is a machine, is your engine. It is everything. So if your mind is not really on working towards you getting to achieve your goals, and our mind are like bulls fighting. If you give the bull of negativity a lot of energy, it's going to win. If you give the bull of positivity a lot of energy, it wins. So it is how you feed it. It is your life. At first, you have to recognize it is my life. Yes, I would want the best for you, but first, do you want the best for yourself?
All right. Speaking of which, why I asked this is because I have seen very many people swim in failure. And you know, when we're talking about failure, let's just make this clear. It's not that one-time failure, because failure is a process. Like every other time, today you'll do this, you'll touch this, you fail, you touch another thing, you succeed and all that. And it's a process. So numerous times I've seen people swim in failure just because the society has equally conformed them to do that, or the society has perceived that to be good. Why I'm saying this is because of this particular story. Much, there's nowhere in our wildest dream would we imagine that this thing happened overnight. This is a couple that has been there for the longest of time, to a point of having about a child who is 13 years old. And it means within themselves probably they've had battles. Sometimes it has sounded as though it's almost impossible to have this family. But because the society tells you that, you know what, you cannot have a divorce, you have to be in that particular family, you have to act as though that, yes, you're that woman who's able, you know, the Proverbs 31 woman who's kept her home and all that. And then you want to make the rest of the people comfortable, and you die in that society. To me, that would be considered as a failure in life, but you choose to swim in it just because you feel like, oh, when I go out there, the people will question me. When I come to the office, and people will know that I have divorced, and it's going to be a whole different story, and they'll be talking about bite me here, and you're dying inside there. So swimming in failure, sincerely speaking, as opposed to learning in failure.
Linda, society is what we are told. In communication, there is passing of message from point A to point B.
Right.
And in between, there is what called noise.
Okay.
She knows very well it's wrong, but the noise comes and dominates the right thing. I know myself, I know I'm heading here. But the noise comes in between and dominates and that's why you find somebody, the noise dominates, you start drugs.
Right.
But you know I want to become this. Ask mtu yote had even drugs or something. Hata mtu divorce, I know I want a good marriage. But where is the noise coming in? The noise can come in the lady.
Yes.
Because of the society surrounding is telling you, Mazee uska hivi, this and this and this. Mazee, I want to be like this. The noise might be coming from the man. His violence is this and this. He doesn't know how to communicate. So the mode of communication is fight, maybe. The mode of communication is this and this. I take, for instance, a lady want to abort and everything. She knows very well. In my office, they come, she knows the consequences. She knows everything. She knows even this place and this place and this place. And she knows at the end of this will happen. But the noise dominates. And we want to be the smart person. And Linda, you have said, society wataona nime divorce, society wataona ni this and this and this and this. So we fear what society say over advantage of where we are heading. Because society itasema. Because society, and I'm telling you, the moment that focus is there, what we need to manage is the noise in between. Linda, umeamua kwenda hivi. If it becomes smooth, or today we are married, if that life is so smooth, somebody is a liar. One of us is lying to each other.
Right. It's too good to be true.
Okay. Lazima, these are two components which are different.
So they have
It's a component that you have been brought up, and there is a software that was packaged based on your family and the beliefs. You said earlier about the culture. We can come from one area, but in your family you have a culture. I also have a culture. And now we are trying to bring these two components to become one culture. Friend, humility. Humility is walking in the truth of yourself.
Right.
Discipline is needed. There is no change. Kwanza vijana wako na ufala sana. There's no change that will take place if you're not part of the story. You must be part of the story for what you want to be. Despite the fact people telling us.
Yeah.
Daktari will tell me this and this. If I'm not part of the story, itaingilia hapa na itoke hapa. Itakuwa ni story. Ndaanza kuangalia ni kwa sababu ni daktari yeye amefika. Unajua, I'll start now and prejudice, analyzing another way. But if I become part of the story, yes, I am sick. I'm going through this. It is true. I'm aware I'm sick. Then from there, the voices that will come, I will decide now. This voice, because I'm sick, because some voices can come, but I've not believed I'm sick.
Right.
Voices about this lady, I'm very sure, probably there were voices.
Right.
This is not the right thing. Voices based on friends, voices based on herself, that I'm doing the wrong thing. Why should I do this? There are voices. How do I decode those voices to reality? How do I decode the voices towards the success I want? Yes, I've failed. Yes, in fact, one writer said, the worst thing in this world is lack of trying.
You'd rather try and fail.
I've tried this. But even, watu wako na ufala, nimeanguka hii, narudia vile tu. I did not learn. So we should learn. There is a component of learning from that. Okay, I was selling sukuma wiki and this and this and this, nimejaribu imeanguka. Why did it? Like me in relationship, like I'm in a relationship when I was a young person and everything. And most of the time, I will defend. Au dema alinihanya, au dema kulienda. I point fingers. Hizi nakwambia wewe ndio mbaya zaidi na Mungu ni shahidi.
Right, okay.
So how do I look at myself? What did I not do in that relationship? Okay. So that as I enter a new one, I will not repeat the same mistake. Because if it did not work, I must be part of the story. Kuna vile niliko. But many times we point fingers. This story, if you go deeper, how imewekwa kwa gazeti, we'll just take the ideally the way it is. Right. But my friend, wakati imekuja kwa offices in counseling, you'll see it's more than what is.